All right, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome back to yet another Bible study. And today, we're going to be talking about moon magic, which is going to be a lot of fun because the full moon is coming up. I don't know if you guys do anything for the full moon, but I like to do a little something something. And usually, hello, Stikira. Usually in Hello Milk as well. When I do like moon stuff, it's mostly just very little stuff. Hello, Libra. Hello, everyone. Thank you.
I have a bowl of chocolate chips because I don't have anything else sweet in the house. I
Oh,
have
Oh gosh, how do I turn it around? Ah! Y'all gonna see? Okay. Oh my goodness. My messy kitchen. Okay, there. It's actually not that bad. It's just a lot of dishes. So I didn't do.
I need to
Tissue.
grab a laptop really fast.
That's a
I'll be
move.
right back.
Oh gosh. Okay. Ooh.
Okay, here we go. We are all in the zone. We're just waiting for Mimi.
There we go. Hello.
Present. Thanks, guys, for joining live. Hi, everyone. We're just getting settled, getting in here. I have like a million videos of garlic and chives on my phone now because
Love
this
that.
week's herb of the month is chives. And I was trying to edit the video earlier, but I had to take care of some other stuff, so. I don't know what happened in my brain that I was like, you know what? This week's Patreon video is going to be like a whole ass hour of me talking about something that is bothering the hell out of me, which is Christian supersessionism. It's like on my mind. I cannot stop talking about it. It's a terrible, awful thing.
Sometimes that's how you got to do it, though. Is just have like the nice hour-long rant.
Yeah, right.
That's just
I
how it
have a
has
whiteboard.
to
I
be.
was writing shit down. Yeah, it was. It was. I got a whiteboard specifically so I could be like, take notes because this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like that meme of the guy with all the strings, you know?
Yes, the
That,
bulletin
that's me when I'm
board.
at the whiteboard. That's absolutely me at the whiteboard. Oh god.
To
I
Reference
don't know
like
what's
meme
up with
notes.
this phone, but like it hates sitting in my ring light. So every once in a while, I may start tipping, apparently.
have
So
my ring light behind me, and I have my phone on a separate stand so that it won't because
do that.
last
That's smart.
time it started tipping and I couldn't get it to straighten back out. So now I have two separate things. One is a ring light and one is just a regular stand. I've been going through it.
It's that season of life. I don't know. I guess it's like the last degrees of what the goodness gracious. Oh my God. This has been bothering me. I'll be in the
It's
middle of like filming
God.
like readings for like clients, and then all of a sudden it just. I'm, I'm like I didn't even notice because I'm like in like the zone. I'm like I'm sorry you just saw my thighs for like 7 minutes, but you know what? The information's still valid.
That's when you
Um,
just detach the audio and put like a cute picture up and you're like, great, there you go. But, can someone text Mimi? Because I don't know if she
she
knows
said
she
that.
said that she's gonna be late.
Oh, okay. Maybe I think I just missed that because my phone notifications go off and I'm like, who? When?
uh
But,
tonight's topic is supposed to be about lunar magic, but I think we're all kind of just going through shit this week, so it'll probably be a mix of lunar magic and venting about our problems.
yeah,
Heck
there's a lot going on.
yeah.
To answer Stakira, Christian supersessionism is the really shitty idea that because Jesus happened, Jewish people are no longer necessary on Earth. I can't believe that's a thing. Like, but it started. It started because obviously Christians, to try and justify their existence as a religion, they were trying to say, well, we do have a tradition because Roman Empire cared a lot about how old a religion was, not necessarily what the religion believed. So they were looking at Christians like side eyeing the hell out of them because they were like, you guys just came out of nowhere with the most wacky, stupid beliefs. And Christians are like, no, our tradition is Judaism. To which the
Oh
Roman
my
pagans
God.
and Jewish people said, who? Because not us. Like the Jewish people were saying, you guys don't follow our laws. You believe in this random ass guy. Like, what the hell are you talking about? So obviously, once Christianity became the official religion of Rome, it was basically just state sanctioned, like, anti Semitism. and that
Yeah.
lasted for thousands of years and caused so many problems. And you could see it today when you see people say shit like, "Oh, Jesus is God, so Moses was actually talking to Jesus." And Proverbs, "Trust in the Lord, Jesus." These are Jewish scriptures. They didn't. Jesus was nowhere involved in this situation. Even if you have the Trinity theology, you can't just retcon Jesus into shit. Like, you can't just do that, and you can't just say that Jewish people have no place anymore. They
Right.
still do, right? The
Yeah,
way I
that's
thought of it
my
earlier.
old church used to like hardcore believe that, like to the point where they
Hell
would like
no.
evangelicalize onto Jewish people, and they did get a few Jews, you know. One of my disciplers was actually married to somebody who was converted from Judaism. He grew up Jewish and then, went to college with somebody from the ICOC, got fed I cannot pronounce that word.
Yeah, and like
Supersessionism. I
it's supersede.
I can't
It's like
pronounce. I'm
one thing.
sorry, but they really fed him that, and he converted, which isn't that crazy? But like the
It's like
funny
one thing
part
to
is
convert,
he'll
but then to
like
play
he'll have
jokes.
Hanukkah parties, and he'll invite everybody over for Hanukkah, or like even like he'll do seders every once in a while for Passover, and like he'll
Mm.
do it with all and everybody's like, oh, this is great, and I'm like, oh, this is not
This is
great,
like
guys. This is a
like
weirdly gray area
yeah,
that
like
we should
don't
not be
also
tiptoeing
just like
in.
don't encourage evangelicals to
So
co-opt
weird.
Judaism further. But no, like it's crazy because like the way I understand it and the way I explained it, it's like you can have one person who's friends with three people, and each of those three friends will have a different friendship with that one person. The Abrahamic religions are kind of the same. They all have a different relationship with God, but they're all still in a relationship. They all still
Yeah.
Yeah.
matter to that one person. Like, I don't know. I was on like a whole ass tangent, and I was like, I can't believe that we were out here saying this shit as if God just like looked at his original people that he did all this for and said, you know what, nah, like, get
Yeah.
bye.
No. Yeah, I follow like so many Jewish creators on TikTok and like learning about what they believe in and how they view, and I follow lots of Muslim creators, and I just can't believe that anyone would find it anything other than interesting. Like, whoa, that's so cool. That's how they like. All right, Mimi's here.
What's up, Mimi?
Hello. How y'all
But
are today?
Mimi, we were just having the biggest rant about Christian supersessionism because it sucks. It sucks and it's bad.
Yeah.
But no, I got on that train because I was looking at Acts 19:19, in which like the story of Acts is like these Jewish exorcists specifically are trying to exorcise a demon, and they're saying by the name of Jesus, who Paul proclaims. So they're just like, yeah, I heard this magic does real good if you invoke this guy that Paul
Yeah.
said. And so it didn't really work. But like I was like, this kind of reads like anti-Jewish propaganda in Acts, and it
It
kind of
is.
was. Like,
Acts and Matthew specifically were
and
written
like super
to cater to a
anti-Jewish
Jewish
propaganda.
audience, especially Matthew. Like that is the one. Like with my old church, if they knew somebody was raised with like more like Jewish tradition, they would read Matthew with them first because it was written in a way that reflected Isaiah very closely, so it looked like the continuation of a Jewish scripture.
That's crazy.
And like you can see it in there because they're just like I don't know. And like people, this is
Oh,
why people need to know context because I saw some Bible notes be like maybe they were talking about pagan magic here. I'm like no, they were specifically trying to dog Jewish people for not getting on the Jesus train.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing here, and it sucks.
But I feel
right.
like with part of that, they were very much looking down their nose at it, trying to practice it to show off more than they were to actually like do the work of God.
And like the word they use for magic is interesting. It's periergos, which only shows up one other time. It shows up in 1 Timothy, I think 5:13, and it means like being a busybody or a gossip. Like it doesn't like it does have some idea of magic in that like people just kind of went by hearsay and they were like, oh, I heard this works, so like let's do this thing. It's kind of like tabloid medicine / tabloid miracle. So, like, it's more that you guys don't believe in this thing, and yet you're trying to use it rather than, like, actually acknowledging the power. But it's just the way it's written had me like, why are we being like this today? And so that started, like, an entire rabbit hole of me just being like, no, no one quote this verse to me ever.
Am I coming over my mic?
No, you sound fine.
No,
Okay.
you're good.
I did a crackle thing.
But, yeah, so today's original topic, before I got on to Crazy Train, was talking about moon magic. Yay!
Yeah. As the pink moon is coming up, which is about change and rebirth and renewal, which I think we all need. I especially need. Can we like block this person spamming the comments about the picture? Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I was going to say the same thing.
Thank
I
you.
just-
Anyway, the pink
Sorry,
moon
friend, but
is coming up. And I could definitely use some freaking renewal. I've had it. I'm done. But, yeah, we're gonna talk about, like, because I feel like lunar magic is kind of the first thing you think of when you think of, like, witchcraft when you're a beginner.
Mhm.
Oh, they worship the moon or something, which that's not true, but that's what you think of. That's the imagery that...
Speak for yourself, Hannah.
Also, we follow the
Okay,
moon cycles for like, in the Messianic cult that I was almost in. Yeah, you follow the moon cycles to count your Omer and do your festivals that way. A lot of the Jewish festivals are
isn't
done by the
Jewish
moon.
calendar by? Like, isn't the,
It's a
isn't the
lunar calendar, yeah. It's not a
Yeah.
solar calendar.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's why, like, I believe that this is the Paschal moon as well, because it's the first moon before Pesach.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Pesach's tomorrow.
That's why, because this is the moon before it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's technically, astrologically, or astronomically speaking, the full moon has started tonight because it's like 99.3%. If
Yeah,
you don't
so
quit
that's-
tipping my chairs, you can't have my food. I've not eaten yet, and you guys are on my nerves. Get out from underneath me. Go.
But,
Go.
you know, I think the moon is like, I don't know, 12:37 a.m. for where I am on, like, the 6th. So it's the 5th. We're just gonna say, moon's the 5th. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
But the energy lasts from tonight, like, through the 6th, so... We figured that we would talk about lunar magic tonight because I think we all kind of do it differently. I feel like we're close with the lunar cycles, whereas I'm, oh shit, it's full moon again. What? So,
I swear to
Yeah,
God, I'm
no,
the
that's-
mom friend reminding everybody of the moon cycle. I'm just like, this is new moon. You gotta do your crystals, honey.
No, that's why I have, like, my planner has, like, the full moon spreads, and, like, I do rituals more for new moons, because that's, like, the seed
Mhm.
planting. For full moons, I'm just like, God, what the fuck happened? And then we just talk about it for, like, the past 6 months. What did I actually even plant in the new moon of Libra? I don't know.
it's about fresh starts and, like, new energy for this
Yeah.
particular moon.
It's the
But-
first. Sorry, it's the first full moon of like the astrological new year.
Mhm.
So even though like moons are really good for like letting go, this moon in particular is a good one for manifestation because it is the first one ramping up with that astrological energy. And because it's in the sign of Libra, it could be like a lot of things like about creativity, relationships, partnerships, balance in your life, trying to figure out how to create like, either work-life balance or like, balance between friends and family or like whatever you may be working through sort of thing. So this is like a good time to like reflect on that or like start creating on that.
Yeah.
Particularly this particular one. That's not applicable to every single one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
every moon's in a different thing, so every moon's gonna have its own significance. But I think Pink Moon for Libra is a great name.
yeah, right?
Yeah, because it's a Venus moon.
So that's the
But what's like
thing.
fascinating about like this moon and like honestly the next full moon astrologically for me, Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, and then Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. So in the sky right now you have like a very interesting balance of divine masculine and divine feminine being expressed through the full moon. So then next lunar cycle, we have the full moon in Scorpio, where, the sun is in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, and then Scorpio is also ruled by Mars traditionally. So you still have that balance. So I don't know. I find that really I just like how they're back to back. It's interesting to me.
Hmm. So that's how like you can apply it to Christian witchcraft, like maybe doing a little bit of research on, okay, what is this full moon about, or what kind of energy does it have, and then looking for psalms or verses to kind of go along with that energy. And you could also argue that the idea of ending one cycle and beginning another, which this moon kind of has a lot to do with. Jesus is a great deity for that because he died and then came back. What a way to end one cycle and begin another. So
Man, Jesus, yeah, Jesus
Yeah.
is going through it this week. This is Holy Week, so
Woo!
woohoo! But
But
I would also say
distraction.
you could hang out with Mary, because like roses
Yeah.
have a lot to do with Mary, Libra, roses, all that kind of stuff. But
Yes.
at its most low energy and simple, Libra being a sign of balance, it's an air sign, so it's about like intellect and like think of like the suit of swords, I believe, in tarot. So I would say, at its most simplest, just pop like an Earl Grey tea bag in some hot water. And Earl Grey, like bergamot, is specifically about like the mind, memory, intellect.
Mhm.
So that's a great oil to use for that, as you just drink that tea and try to like harvest that energy of like getting your mind together, right? Like you're just whole shit balanced in one place.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, the moon tends to be, like, really associated with the goddess. So, like you were saying, Mother Mary, or even, like, Mary Magdalene, or even, like, Sophia and anyone who constitute as a Christian would be great to invoke or take time with, during the moons.
I brought my book.
Oh, we got our first haggler. We got our first person. And I can't block them.
Forgive those who trespass against you, so the Father can forgive your trespasses against you. Honey, let me
Lead us
just
not
tell
into
you what.
temptation and deliver us from evil. Amen.
Get behind me, Satan, and quit tempting me. I'll be a sassy bitch because my Venus is in Mars or my Venus is in Aries, and I've been looking for a fight for 2 fucking days.
Same.
My Venus is in Libra, so I'm just like
I
time
don't
to relax and play
say it,
games.
but I'm done.
My Venus is in Taurus, so I have so much Taurus in me. It's too much. But my Mercury is in Aries, which is why I'm aggressive when I talk.
Yeah, I went downstairs to my husband, and he was like, "What's the matter with you?" And I was like, Aries. He's like,
Aries.
what? He's like, what? I was like, well, remember I talked about your moon is in Aries, so that's why you've been having, like, you've wanted to talk more and do more things. You've opened up to me, but also I just want to fight you and punch you in the fucking face because that's my Venus.
Yeah.
I don't... And he's like, oh,
that was,
okay.
That was a misunderstanding. I'm sorry. We get a lot of weirdos in here who start doing crazy stuff, so...
Yeah,
We get people in here proselytizing, and they just start
And
spamming us with Bible verses, and it's
calling
like,
us
really?
people or Lord, redeem these people from hell. So, yeah.
It's a little exhausting, and you get like a little bit defensive.
We're cynical,
when people
it's okay.
Yeah.
create.
That was our bad. Don't worry about that.
All right. So, like, what I do is, first of all, I associate Asher with the moon because that's one of her things. So instead
Me
of
too.
doing my big workings, like I always work with God, but like the full moon is when I'm usually doing something. Dude, with as much slander as we get all the time, we shut down people who just throw Bible verses.
Yep.
Calm your titties.
Yeah.
Just
Or
a little.
get out if you can't
I'm a
take.
very
You
patient
this
person
one's
here,
proving
so
that
you
they are a heckler. To be quite honest.
Yeah, right.
No,
Like-
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm very patient with who I block because I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah.
we are quick to judge for a reason because these kinds of people come in here and start absolutely acting a fool. Someone else asked, how do you deal with this kind of stuff when everyone says it's blasphemy?
We flip them
try
off.
to protect, we try to kind of protect our people from those who would come in here and start like breaking everything apart and acting a fool, because that's very stressful for people who are trying to figure out a very complicated spiritual way of life. Like,
And
we don't
the
really
oth-
have the time to let people come in here and start saying the same blowhard shit that everyone always says.
And the other side of this is that we aren't treating it as that we are judging you, we are better than you, da da da. What we are actually doing is we are turning the other cheek and having you treat us as equals. So we get defensive with the energy that's given to us, and most of the time people who are just throwing Bible verses and forgive the trespasses and all that fun stuff when it has nothing to fucking do with what we're talking about tonight, that's an automatic, you need to go sit in the corner, baby, sorry. Okay? Okay. Now,
At least give some context first for why you're saying it, if you're not saying it to be an asshole, I guess, is the real thing.
so a lot of people say that Ashra is associated with like the changing of the seasons, that she is the Holy Spirit, that she was there for all of it, and that the biggest thing is that one of her main symbols is like the crescent moon, right? So as we go through the moon phases, I always think of like new moon and full moon, or like seeing her, seeing both sides of like her big aspects. I also feel like, and I talked about this before, how we see our deities and how we see our spirit team, is that she is the moon in my sky, in my world. She is the moon. So when there is any kind of big change of the season, especially now as we're going into spring, like this is definitely one of those where I sit and meditate with her. I usually pull oracle cards for her because she likes those more than tarot cards. She likes to really make me sit and meditate on a card. It's like the other thing we do for moon stuff now, as a granny witch, we actually do most of our gardening by the moon signs, which means that we watch for waxing and waning moons. Like all of your above ground plants get planted before, during the waxing moon. And during the waning moon, you do all of your below ground plants. You don't ever plant anything when the moon is in Leo because it's liable to burn up. You definitely want more like Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, or Taurus moons, because those are very grounding and fostering kind of moons to have. So those are when you're looking at those moon phases for the most part. You're watching your moon phases when it's spring, especially now when it's spring, because if you watch the moon phases, you'll see how the critters are reacting. So I've had so many deer in my yard. I'm not going to plant sproutlings right now when I've got deer walking through my yard all week. So this cycle right now is everything's changing and the pregnant mamas are coming out and everything like that. I'm just going to wait. You watch the moon, you watch nature, and that's just how it goes. Your best bet to find any little bits of moon magic as far as like what natural magic or anything is going, you're going to find it in the Farmer's Almanac, believe it or not.
Lena, you're falling.
I know! I keep falling! It's the middle of tying a knot. Why is it? Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I've never had this issue with my iPhone. And then now all of a sudden. I agree with you though, Mimi, when you were talking about how Ashra, she likes oracle cards more than tarot.
Yeah.
I tightened the back thing. Maybe that'll help. See, I have firstly, I use the Rose Oracle for her, and I actually had pulled like some of my oracle cards because I was going to talk about it. Like your practice, I do the same. I work with Ashra during like specific moon cycles. Because for me, she's like the moon in my practice as well, because she's so associated with that. So I use the Rose Oracle with her. But then I also have these Moonology oracles. This is the just like classic Moonology where it just like has affirmations and like advice. This one's the manifestation deck, and it gives you like action-based things to do. And like sometimes it tells you to invoke different gods and goddesses. I don't like that it does that, so I just apply it to like, like Asherah, or, sometimes I'll use Venus. Like this particular moon, I'm going to be working with Venus for, because I just feel like it's a Libra moon, it's a pink moon. I think like that like aligns a lot with, Venus. So I'm going to be working with her for this particular one. But that's what I like these oracle. But I agree with that statement. She likes oracle a lot more. I don't know why.
I have one too.
Oracle girly.
I use the Enchanted Map Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed. And this was funny because when I first started working with Astro, I was feeling very lost, and she was kind of the first goddess that I was willing to bring into my practice, and she kind of paved the way for me to be open to other deities, like a map. So when I first saw this one, I was like, yes, this is the one that we need. But Mimi, that's really interesting that you do all of your gardening by the moon cycles. I don't know how to keep a house plant alive, let alone do
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm so sorry. COVID's still kicking my ass a little bit.
It's
I'm
okay.
not.
Oh no, me.
I'm not contagious anymore. It says I'm negative. I've done negative tests, but my lungs feel like fucking Swiss cheese.
Oh,
So yeah, it's one of the things that I always knew was like, you hear those phrases like knee high by the 4th of July and stuff. It's always talking about your big, plants out in the field. And you have to, especially in the South, because it gets so damn hot, you have to be able to like aggregate your plants. And a lot of the things you do is you watch your moon cycles, which will tell you what the animals are doing, which will tell you about that. But yeah, the one about don't plant your moon in Leo because they're liable to, flare up and burn up. That's just because there's that whole like, you don't want to put sproutlings in August, So you think of Leo, you think of like August and things. You don't want to do that.
But the full moon in Leo would be in
That's true.
February.
You don't want to plant then either. It's February.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, well, you know what?
So like,
Because it's freaking hot, and I'm like, it's not hot in February.
but
Yeah, but
Lady
that's
Ashura.
still printing by the moon.
yeah, it's really cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do by the moon. Like, I personally don't have the spoons to always do stuff for like every waxing and waning and everything. I love how Lena's Patreon is set up. I'm gonna shout out to her really fast because I love. You had tarot spreads for like the Leo moons and stuff like that last year.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you were doing it, those were so cool, and I really loved those. You should do those more often. And but like,
That requires me to remember when the moon is by not looking outside and being, oh look, it's full.
so one of the
That's
cool
how I
things
judge when the moon is full.
I got.
So, like, I've actually gotten with astrology, I've gotten to the point where just based on looking at the moon in the sky, I can tell you with a solid 95% accuracy what sign it's in just by looking at it. That is my biggest flex in life, and I'm going to pat my back for that one.
Dude,
Like,
that
just
takes some
straight
work.
up.
That takes
How
some
do
work.
you do that? Because I look like them some shiny Sharia as I don't know anything.
It's easy.
I
So
think
like
it's
once you realize, okay, so new moons are the same sign as the zodiac. So like just speaking for Aries season, right? The new moon was in Aries, right? Then full moons go by the opposite. So then, right, the full moon's in Libra. Quarter moons go by the other like signs within the same modality. So right now Aries is a cardinal sign. So the half moons or the quarter, you know what I'm saying, the half moons, whatever, quarter moons, whatever they go by those signs. So the one before this one was there's Aries, then Cancer, Libra's the full, then the next quarter moon will be Capricorn. So then, just look up in the sky and just figure out how many days ago was it half, and then you can kind of just gauge based on where
That's
things
too
were in the
much math.
sky.
That's too much math for me. I'm sorry.
Alright, that's useful.
That's useful,
these
but
are
that's-
all gonna-
Is it a lot of
these
math?
are
I just think it's a lot of
See,
astrology.
You did
It's a little math.
you did the astrology trick for that. Like, I do ADHD math. Oh, if I have 7, then it's 7 more, and then plus 1, and then I said 7
Yeah.
plus 8. Like, that's literally what my brain was like, oh, she's doing ADHD astrology. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's probably why I could do astrology math. You have to break it down like ADHD math. I can't do real math, but astrology math?
I was like, I can't do real math, but I could figure that out. Oh my god, I don't know what is up with my internet. If we lose this freaking, it's because Doc wants to cry, I guess. I don't know, it can't handle me typing.
How dare you? Also, don't come for me. I still
And my
haven't
thing
eaten
was
today.
just like,
You're allowed to eat. I'm threading things, It just sometimes when you have ADHD, you got to do multiple things at once. It is what it is. That's
I
how
went
it
with
be.
fucking Gabriel.
now, that was
Would Gabriel, okay, wait, question, legit question. Would Gabriel be the Abrahamic pantheon like equivalent to Loki and the amount of chaos that he brings?
I'm gonna say no.
Do you think he's more chaotic?
No. I
Okay.
think he's the one who's just like, what are you doing, guys? I was just supposed to do one thing. This is the one thing. This is what you're supposed to know. This is the one thing.
Okay, yep. I figured this was gonna happen. My internet kinda, like, glitched a little bit. So, I'm sorry, guys. Once everyone pocket, I'll reinvite them. But I can tell when everything starts going really slow and glitching that I'm probably gonna lose it soon. So, maybe now it'll fix itself. Sorry, guys. For some reason, this just went, nah.
Oh my gosh.
I saw Lena's kitchen.
I know. This TikTok's really trying to expose me for having dishes in the sink today.
Dude, I'm at my table. Like, look at this beautiful green, though. This is my house
It's a
color.
good green.
Isn't
Yeah,
this
that's a
beautiful?
gorgeous
I was
sage
like,
green.
what are you?
This is my favorite green. This is my whimsy goth green. You know, you've got blue, purple, and green for whimsy goth. Like, this is my whimsy goth green. It's this.
That was like when
It's a
before
good color.
Jack and I had Dexter, we painted our room that color. It was so pretty.
It's
I loved
beautiful. So what I was
It's a
saying
pretty
about
color.
fucking Gabriel is that we as humans, when he comes in, we suddenly panic because he is like an angel for messages and creativity and inspiration, and we are all of a sudden like, there's too much, oh my god. So we
Yeah.
cause the chaos more than he does.
it. Okay, fair. So
So we
then,
get
what would be the Abrahamic pantheon equivalent to a chaos god? Do we think it's Thomas? No, he's the doubting one. It would not be him.
Hold on, wait. Thunder Brothers. The Thunder Brothers.
I was gonna
Thunder
say
Brothers
John
are
the.
fucking wild.
What about John the Baptist himself?
John
My
the
Yo.
dude
Baptist
being
was
locust
wild, but I
and
think-
walking around in the desert being fucking
Yo.
chaotic as shit.
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
That
Can we talk about how that when Jesus was resurrected, the whole doubting Thomas story made me think of this. He came back to talk to his disciples after coming back alive, and some scholars say that Mans didn't even use the door. There are some scholars that suggest he
Yeah.
just walked through the wall.
Yeah.
He'd just be like,
little-
somebody.
If I may say so myself. He's just like, what up? I'm back, and I'm gonna expect you not to panic. Because really, doubting Thomas was probably not actually doubting him. He was probably like, this is not happening. There's no way this is happening. What is happening? There's no way.
Yeah.
I
No,
would
I
also
always,
panic
like,
if my
honestly,
dead friend
it's funny
came
that
and
you
faced
say that,
through
'cause as a
fucking wall.
kid-
Like,
Is that Beyonce? Like,
No, but as a kid, like, I didn't even know that that was part of, like, the scholarly story, but I genuinely thought that that's what happened. So I'm inclined to believe that that's what happened because, like, kids tend to know. Like, they tend to know a little bit more than we do about, like, spirit because they're closer, you know. They were there a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
They were there before us or closer
no,
than us. Does that
I
make
think-
sense? Anyway.
yeah. I think Jesus and Loki get along fine.
Oh, they get along.
And they are two people.
just Lena. He was like,
They are.
I feel like Loki's like, we're gonna do this, and Jesus is like, that's a great idea. Thanks,
No.
Jesus.
That's not how it usually goes,
He
for
hates
me at
little
least.
brother that just kind of watches.
Oh, Mimi went bye-bye.
she'll be back. TikTok
Internet.
playing a game with us again. But you know what? Jesus feels like when it comes to like him and Loki, it feels like he would just roll in with like the really grungy, like mossy Hosier vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of it.
How did I do? I made the same mistake twice in this pattern.
Oh no.
Wow.
Nice. But you know what though? With me back here, for me it's like with the moon things. I think it's interesting because it's like, I think a regular moon practice, like you don't have to do every single like slice of the moon, but if you keep like new moon and full moon, like just even just pulling some tarot cards to see where you're at, it's a grounding thing because when you think about how the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar, like going by the moon is how you can kind of keep track of what the hell is going on, and this is why moons have names, right? So like a lot of the moon names we have, they come from Native American tribes, they come from different groups throughout Europe. So like the Celts called this like the seed moon. Certain Native American tribes call this the pink moon for pink flowers that would grow in certain
Mm-hmm.
areas at this time of the year. It's a way to keep track of what the hell's going on, and when you take time to check in with God, even just do some tarot pulls for this, you can figure out, like, okay, what am I ready to do, and what am I ready to harvest after doing a bunch of stuff. It's a really good way to just, like, keep your ass together, because the life gets crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to just take a minute.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, another part of moon magic that I do personally as part of my divine feminine aspect, and for all you gentlemen in here, it's going to get gross for a second, but I don't give a fuck because I am approaching middle age and I no longer care. I have embraced my monthly cycle, and because I get close to the full moon when I have my menses, I have started looking at like foods to eat, ways to meditate, looking at the way, like, really, reaching down, because assigned female at birth, I have ovaries, I have a uterus, I have beard. Guys, my brain. Dude, I got a Swiss cheese fucking brain from fucking COVID and no oxygen.
You're good. Work through it.
I've had 4 babies. So, I feel more connected to the divine feminine, especially when I'm getting closer, with the exception of like the 3 days, and I'm absolutely in PMDD hell and everything is awful and horrible and I want to put my truck in a river. But aside from that, that's an ADHD thing, by the way. Yeah,
Is it really?
Yeah, PMDD is like highly linked with ADHD, and if you are suicidal for a couple of days out of the month, and then you get your your period, or if you're like super depresso, or you're like super up and down those couple of days, like to the point where you want to get divorced over shit, or you want to get rid of all your dogs like I do sometimes, or you just like scream and rage. Yeah, it's an ADHD thing. But
Interesting. Wow.
I try to, like, the rest of the days, I try to really focus in on, like, all right, it's luteal phase. What can I eat, and how do I need to pray, and how do I need to focus on this? Because, like,
Yeah.
It can
It's
be
because, like,
associated
well,
with
whatchamacallit, uterus cycles are 28 days. Like, a typical one is 28 days, the same as a moon cycle.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, men were like, I guess people with the long stick setup, yeah, they got it easy. They got a 24-hour cycle. They just, like, they wake up, they're like, by the evening they're fine. For us, it's like 28 days of, like, why am I alive? Oh, good, all right, we found the reason. No, I lost it again. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Then yes, go ahead.
Got like 2 days a month where we feel okay.
Hey.
yeah, energy, and you're like, oh, wait, this is
They're not-
great,
they're
I'm going to
not
ride it out. And then it's like,
My
like,
focus
it's horrible.
and caffeine and yeah.
I try to do my workout by, like, the cycle, because, like, there's different, if you exercise a certain way, it can actually kind of mess you up a little bit, but then I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not exercising a different way every week of the month. This is stupid. We're just gonna lift heavy things. Fuck it.
No.
I don't care.
That could hurt you.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
back's kinda
Well, you know what?
kicking
Like,
this
one of my
sounds really
friends,
powerful on my
Ashley, my friend Ashley, she's in the church, so you, like, if you hang around there, you see her. She's like, she's like, oh my God. She's like the embodiment of the divine feminine for me. This woman has had, like, what, 4 or 5 kids, and she freaking lifted all these, like, weights through it. Like, woman could have lifted me while she was pregnant over her head, easily. Like, straight, she's a beast. Like, a beast.
There's someone I follow for, like, my home workouts who, like, literally she posted a video every day through her whole pregnancy. So, like, as you're going through the workout with her, you could just see her getting progressively more, like, balloon level. And I was like, how are you still doing this?
They just do, and it's like, what the heck? It's absolutely, like, I don't know, by a certain point in my pregnancies, I was like, all right, couch.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, meanwhile, I had to work through quite a few, but I pulled abdominal muscles, I twisted my sciatica and everything. My body was like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna make sure you sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
Having a baby. But you know what? It was when I wasn't fucking miserable, because I actually hated being pregnant for most of the time. But there towards, like,
Doesn't sound like it.
it's not. It's fucking awful. It is fucking awful.
It's
People who are
not
like,
fun.
People who are like, oh, pregnancy is beautiful. They're fucking lying to you.
No, it is beautiful, but it's horrible at the same time. It can be dualistic.
Yeah, two
Nah,
things
y'all.
true at the
Yo,
same time.
fans, y'all keep that shit. I ain't doing that. I told my boyfriend,
That's
I was
fair.
like,
It can be.
I was like, if we have a kid, I wanted to be like technology progresses that I can have my baby on the counter like a fucking like little sea monkey. You just put water in it and it grows on its own.
That's creepy.
Leave it on the counter. That's Cindy. She's gross. She's at 38 weeks or something. I only bopped her off the table once. We're doing great. You know, like that's I'm gonna watch from afar. I want nothing to do with it in my body.
Are you trying to say hello? Okay, come say
No, they need like the talking and this whatnot
Yes.
while they're in the belly.
I'll
and
talk
whatnot,
to it as
you
I
know?
eat my breakfast. It's on the table.
No, Sarah,
growing on the
they need to
table.
hear your heartbeat and like feel the little walking movements as you walk.
Everybody say hi to Jasper.
Hi, Jasper.
Oh, the puppy. If it's it, you got babies, you got dogs, and they're all just like, hello.
I'm trying to have lizards. I'm trying.
Until I can show kittens on live.
Yes.
Oh,
But,
why is there only 3 of your favorite witchy
Are you-
ladies? I
just
feel like
haven't
one
met
of us. You haven't met the.
They probably don't like me. It's okay. I can be a
But,
bee.
Whoa,
was I saying? What
whoa,
was I saying?
child.
But is there like I don't know if there are any Bible verses that outright specify the moon. I know there's the one where God
Hang
made
on.
everything. He made the
They-
stars and the moon. But is there anything where God actually
They
talks
did.
about the moon specifically?
Yes, they do. Hang on, I gotta pull up my Bible.
Maybe he's like, no, I got this.
Where is it?
Okay, she's getting
She'll be
her.
back though.
Well,
Gotta get
yeah.
the dog. But but in that vein, you know what else I was thinking about earlier, guys? Because once again, I got someone who's like, you know, I don't know. I get people stitching my stuff all the time, like you can't do magic, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you guys, but there is no religion that operates without some concept of magic. You don't have to call it witchcraft, but there is some concept of magic if you have a religion.
Okay, sorry about that. So, most, especially in like the Old Testament, most things were done. If you'll do this by the sun, you'll do this by the moon.
By
Like
the
if you
moon.
remember, like Joshua went around the wall of Jericho for so many days, but they had him count by the moon, not the sun. And like everything, you know, who was it? Saul left by, you know, cloak of night, and he followed the moon there. There's a bunch of things that are like you, and the thing is, Passover and most holy festivals start at when sun goes down, and then it starts with the moon. So like it's a symbol of like them going through the darkness and then coming through the light with God. So it's the moon is a lot more symbolic than people just being like, "There's no verses for this. This is not what's going on." Like, yes.
And it's like the whole culture's built around
Oh.
it, yeah.
She paused herself again.
That's alright. But no, that makes sense because I do notice that every week Shabbat will start at sundown. They start sundown, not sun up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? And their
Yeah.
weeks start on Sundays instead of Mondays.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? But even like Easter is determined by the first Sunday after the full moon, the first full moon of spring.
And another
That's
one
true,
was
yes.
when David went and hid in the fields. He hid by the full moon.
You're done.
It's just
What, Jasper? Anyway, but
That's
yeah,
just
like
But no, I think this is another thing that people kind of miss a lot. Like there are Bible verses then that discuss it, and there's a story. But I feel like a lot of people rely so hard on the Bible to say, well, where does it say to do that? And it's like, guys, not all of a culture or a tradition will be listed in the Bible. The Bible is more to capture like the actual really hardcore laws and like the history.
okay, come get the
You
cheese
guys
then.
gotta
Yeah.
influence from how people live. Like, you can't
Come
just be like, where in the Bible does it explicitly say to do this? You gotta read between the lines and like put the pieces together.
Cheese tax, come here.
you have to have some discernment when reading the Bible, and also there's times you could be like, well, it doesn't say you can't do ABC.
Right. I think the big one is to like when you look through what's going on, you actually get a bigger understanding when you look at how the culture was, because remember, we are taking so much context from Jewish culture. We are taking so much from that aspect, and even the way that everything is told through stories, like it's just as much imagery and pointing to things as it is anything else. So if we're going strictly based on the Bible, you have to look at it like the Teutonic mythology, the stories that Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm coming up with all these beautiful stories that are actually like folklore and mythology from like most of like the Baltic and the Germanic area. So it's beautiful to see, and it's beautiful to hear and to have these stories told. But the moon imagery and things being done by the moon is not necessarily a specific verse where you can cherry pick and distort it. It is the whole painting of the chapter, or the whole painting of that section of the book. So dude, we have so many gifts. What is this?
I know, I'm just looking at these, I'm like, okay, I don't want to cut you off, but thank you guys for sending all this stuff. That's like, I'm seeing like fireworks and all this kind of crazy stuff.
I'm gonna
going
get
on. We
5
really appreciate
cents.
that.
Everyone needs.
I made a nickel.
Right?
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Oh, 12 cents.
We're
TikTok
not mocking
really
the
take it.
things, but TikTok really
We're
guts
goofing on
it.
Clock App because
Yeah.
Clock App will be like, wow, you did it, and then they'll pay you out, and they'll be like, after our cut, you guys get a bag of Doritos. Congrats.
Yes.
Not
even-
even, not
But,
even a
um,
bag of Doritos.
But yeah, no,
That's-
I think
I
it's
would love a bag of Doritos right now. Sorry.
yeah. I did the thing again. I always have like a cup of chocolate chips, and I always know it's gonna make my stomach hurt by the end, and I do it anyway.
Yes, you do.
That's
Okay,
bagels.
so I just want to say really fast, speaking of moon, I got my new Southern Gothic Oracle deck. The one that I got for my birthday. It's by Stacey Williams Ng. Too stuffy to say it, I'm sorry. And this is what I pulled. I asked for my team to give me a sign. And so the first thing I pulled was usually Mary's card, and it is the cowrie shells, which is feminine power. Ashra's was the blue moon. The Morrigan's is the crossroads. And then I got Jesus, which is the alligator, which is Jasper, for crying out loud.
It's like after
He's just
everyone,
excited
Jess
about
was
the
like,
moon.
Are you telling me about the moon today? Pa. Yeah, Pa. Okay. This is what he wanted. So everybody can see my little boy. This is what he wanted. He wanted to hold Mama's hand. And then the black walnut tree was God's card for discernment and self-worth. And I'm like, this is very appropriate. You guys pulled like very woo-woo spooky cards about what am I supposed to do? You want an oracle? Here we go, guys. I need you guys to see this. He wants to do the oracle deck. Hang on.
Oh no.
All right. Dog
Gonna
divination.
for
Let's
us.
go.
Here we go.
Dog
Jasper wants to
divination.
sniff. Here, puppy. Here, puppy. Come here. Yeah, okay, yep. All right. Pick a card. Where are we going to get? Over here at the end. Over here at the end. Oh, this end? This end. Okay, here we go. Which one from this end? This. Oh, this one? The Psalm book.
Oh.
Good job,
Oh, divination.
Jasper.
This has
Good
been your reading
job.
from Jack.
Oh my god.
Divination.
This has been dog divination.
Feel
You-
that. We can have Bean on
All
camera.
right.
Totally gonna do tarot with Bean.
Do tarot with Bean.
Oh my god.
You do
That's
guys see
good,
those
that's
like
good.
that one maybe it's like a couple of people that have cats and they have them pick like crystals from mystery boxes.
Yeah.
I want one of those, so you need to start doing them so that I can get one. Because every time I find them, I don't like I don't think they're always sold out. So I want to find somebody who does them, and I really want a cat crystal mystery box. So
Yes.
bad.
Once I move and I'm not thinking about kittens anymore, and I just have to worry about Bean, I'll do like Bean picture crystals and like comment on
Do you need to hold my hand again? Okay, come here.
I think my favorite is when people do like the identity pick, so they just like throw the papers, and the cat's like, "I'm an atheist, leftist."
do that.
Yeah.
I have so many plans for what I want to do the videos. Like, this is the stay-at-home cat with the trickster voiceover thing.
Oh my god, I love those. Or like the my mom brought me to the what's this? There's this one dog They travel all over the country, and they still stayed a lot of La Quinta hotels. And the dog rates all of these different La Quinta hotels.
Yeah,
Mhm.
our current
Love it.
situation
Oh,
was if Jasper is truly my familiar, it would make sense. I wasn't allowed to have dogs, and my husband was like, 0 dogs, no dogs ever that are expensive. We can't afford it right now. And then I saw a picture of Jasper from a humane society that I had no idea where it was. It just popped up on my Facebook because algorithm, and it was like, oh, he's the most precious boy, and my husband was just like, yeah, right, let's go look at him. And we picked him up, and he just like laid in my lap the whole time and just let me snuggle him. He was very loving. He was a rescue from a puppy mill out in Texas. And even though he is very much, you are a very vocal and anxious boy tonight. You know that, right?
Goodness.
He is the one, anytime I do any readings, he is under the table or he's at my desk and he is literally on me. Because when he stands up, he's over my head because he's a big boy. But he is very much, Mom, I am a magical puppy. Let me be a magical puppy, okay? Do you want to be a magical puppy?
Oh my God, yeah,
Boops.
it's just so funny to hear him though. Oh my God, he's got the most like dog-esque whine.
Right?
Oh God.
Yeah.
He will actually say mama sometimes when he's really upset. Mama! Like,
Oh.
yeah, I know.
That's funny.
But yeah, I found being in a parking lot outside, and I swear I parked my car. I looked out the window, and she was just there, like she just appeared. And so people have asked me, like, do you think that she's a familiar because you just kind of found her? And the debate on whether or not an actual animal can be a familiar aside,
Dude, there's no more cheese. What are you licking?
I was saying too stupid to be a familiar. I
Oh
love
my
her
god.
All
so
fluff.
much. She's my precious baby, and I love her. She's not smart. So I don't think
Cats
she's
have-
a
yeah.
familiar. I think she's just a baby.
Oh.
I mean, it's an orange cat though. She's an orange cat, so it does make it worse.
Orange cats are
Orange
like they
cats
do.
be that
Even
way.
if they just have like a touch of orange in them, they're a little bit dopey. Is a
Yeah.
thing.
Every time she eats, she gets the zoomies.
Oh no.
Gotta go fast, boy.
No,
Yes.
Go.
my childhood cat was a black cat, and he was always acting like a distinguished gentleman. Like, he was always like, I am too good for all of you because I am a black cat. And I was like, fair, that's fair.
That's how. Well, no, my black cat is probably one of the stupidest cats to walk the earth. Like, I'm so sorry. This cat, like, here's like the table, and he'll try to jump on the table, and it'll be like, and it just falls.
I'll just
Why? He's like, with the way he purrs, like it's like, and it's
Yeah.
so funny.
Oh my.
He's also the villain of my household because he broke my laptop, my original laptop. So
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
yeah, he spilled one of these. I have like these are like what I drink water out of, these like huge water, the honey jars, because I'm not a normal person. I can't have a normal glass. So he just all over the freaking computer.
And
Should
here we
have
go.
written
So I
them
remember
up.
that other person earlier was like, "Oh, don't be so quick to judge," but here comes
Mhm.
Tindo
Joseph,
Bindo out here being like, "Wait, sorry." I
Blah.
love this. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Blah.
Now I'm just
Sorry,
being a share. But sorry, ladies. There's no such thing as a Christian
wow.
witch. You say to 4 fucking Christian witches. Bible says
Milady.
multiple times not to practice occult. Here's a fun fact. Pretty much any of Western occultism stems directly out of Jewish and, by extension, Christian mysticism.
If you've ever read like a Renaissance
So eat
grimoire, where it's calling on the of God and Jesus and the angels, if you actually knew anything about occult history, you would know that.
And actually,
You would-
the real translation does not even translate to English properly, but the original word was the pharmakia. First of all, translation. First of all, if you're ever using Strong's, don't fucking use Strong's. It's basically just a redone white man's dictionary. Fucking stop. Full stop. Second of all, the pharmakia that's used, that they're like, oh, this is it. No, it was sorcery intended to poison. God does not want us to poison, which feeds back into thou shalt not fucking kill. The second one was the culture status of stop killing people and stop doing necromancy and getting high and doing shit. No, there is no well. There is no well.
Hold on, Tondo. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me. Quote some verse that I haven't already heard 8 billion. I'm
Wow.
sorry. I feel like an asshole right now, but I just spit it out. Spit it out. Tell me. List them off. Give me some verses. Write them out. See if we haven't already talked about them 8,000 goddamn fucking times.
What do you got? Lay it on me. Lay it on me. What do you got? I got 2 Bibles here ready to go.
This is bad.
Listen, I don't have any of my Bibles next to me, but my longest streak on the Bible app was 233 days. So I think I study my Bible quite a little bit, you know?
Hang on, let me see if I can get. I want
Just
to show
saying.
you guys something.
Have we ever read the Bible?
Have you ever read it? Yeah, I read it for 233 days in a row.
Are you fucked? Are
One.
you fucked?
2,
No, who the fuck is Jesus?
3, 4, and then I've got 4 different versions of the Bible in paper. 4, okay? Both Hebrew. I have it. I can read fucking Hebrew enough to read the goddamn Bible. I have enough to read this one right here. You've got the cultural Bible. We've also got like 8 bajillion. I can't, hang on.
Oh, fuck.
I've got like
actually,
8 bajillion different
Jesus
books.
Christmas.
I've got
our
so
Bible
many.
literally has
And
like
that's
one,
just
but-
what's in my living room. That's not what's in my bookshelf. That's not anything. And the reason why people say thou shalt not suffer a witch to live is because it wasn't thou shalt not suffer a witch to live in the 1890 Darby's translation. It was thou shalt not
Yeah.
suffer a charlatan to live.
Well, actually, yeah. So this is actually, I have a couple sources on this. One is one from 1890, actually, which I didn't realize that someone
That's
was
the
writing
Darby
this.
version. It's like my favorite.
But the word for witch in Exodus is mecheshepach, and this comes likely out of Sumerian. There is a word kashapu, and this
Not
word
this side.
referred to basically people who were doing magic outside of the official priesthood and the official like magicians of the king's court. Literally, that verse is about people like basically just plebeians and laymen doing witchcraft for hire, specifically to hurt people. Like, they were thought to be conjuring demons after people and all these kinds of things because they were outside of the bounds of, like, state or basically.
Yeah.
That is literally, and that's not just in Israelite society, that's Babylon, that's canon, that's literally everywhere. If you were not actually, like, with a cool hat, a magician in the court, you were looked at like some kind of backwoods ass, like, demon summoning mess, and like that.
Hush.
Anyway.
You have no comment to say on this.
So the from our original topic again.
You may not.
You know that every time we come in here, like, every time we do this, there's someone who's going to be like, actually, like, they, and I, God bless you guys, you who come in here and do that, you are so painfully new here.
Yeah.
But it's fun every time. It's like kicking a can around at this point. It's just like, oh boy, we got a new one. Fuck. So,
I honestly feel like
sorry.
you guys get so excited to save a new soul that you lose your own to doctrine.
Whatchamacallit? I mean, Jesus said it best himself, that before you address the speck in somebody else's eye, you need to address the plank
Right here.
in your own.
Quit chewing my cord. Quit chewing my cord. Let's go.
yeah, actually,
Really?
thanks for bringing that up, Tanya. That's another good one. That actually is very specific. You have to look at the Hebrew. You have to look at the Hebrew because it doesn't mediums and necromancers. What it says specifically is. So don't turn to people who do alvanidoni, which is this of taking an animal bone, putting it in your mouth, faded as a mofo, and channel the spirit of the animal to speak with own mouth. There's a lot going on there. If instead of doing all that circus, your question,
Also,
it's like it's
Study
totally
Bible.
fine.
in the Jewish Annotated Study Bible, when it goes through that verse of like don't do divination, it specifically says in the only prohibiting certain kinds of divination. On to Sarah's point.
Okay, hang on.
What
I got
that
this for you.
hurt?
Hang on.
Not from a monkey's.
Yeah,
What does
again,
that have
all
to
of these verses.
What do all of
Yeah,
these
all these
verses
verses you
like
mentioned,
string
they
together
have-
with?
Specifically,
Ultimately, like straight up, instead of sitting here in our comments and people who actually believe in Jesus's comments, right? You could be without acting like Jesus. You could be kind. You could be giving to somebody. You could literally be putting your energy anywhere else and serving the mission of baptizing and making disciples better than you are right here. You're literally just wasting your breath, wasting your energy, and making an embarrassment
No,
of God and just proving our point that
but wait,
evangelicals
let
kind of
him
suck.
waste it. Let
Sorry.
him waste it because it's so funny. Because I love this one. He burned his sons as an offering. Well, you know what the fucking problem is there, buddy?
God said don't do that, you
not
fucking
magic.
idiots.
We don't.
Yeah.
God said don't
It's
do
fucking
that.
burning your children.
You are literally telling the verse of the story where God's like, don't burn your sons. Don't see these necromancers and mediums from Babylon because they're not calling on me.
And again,
You're giving
fortune
us...
telling and omens.
No,
and sorcery,
casting
which-
lots is divination. It's like a form of dice divination where they were like throwing, like, sometimes it was like coins, sometimes it was like actual dice or like whatever into different areas to see how many would land and what God's will was. It was divination. It wasn't voting.
Can we
It's how
block?
they found out who was the new person after
Or
Judas.
rebellion, and that's how the evangelicals keep you submissive. Right there,
But
you
also,
have brought
Tondo,
yourself full
Tondo.
circle, my friend.
Tondo,
Sorry.
guess what divination? Divination is Urim and Thummim, which is literally commanded by of his priests.
We're getting dead.
Divin without God is a problem.
What?
With
Also-
God, totally fine.
Look, he said, you shall not suffer a sorceress to live. Not a sorcerer, which is what it says in the Bible. It is a sorceress.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your misogyny, boo-boo. Come on. Give it to me. Outside are the dogs and the sorcerers. Oh, I bet they are.
Misogyny and classism, and that's really kind of
Yeah.
You know
So-
what? If I'm to be able to be outside with dogs are awesome. So you know what? Hell yeah, I'll take that.
Our life
What-
has been violent. Oh, we got reported. Wow.
Dude, block this,
Sorry, I mean,
block this person, Sarah, please.
Lock 'em.
I love how you're gonna come in here. They're like, in this again. This is like the absolute. This is the absolute joy of evangelical. Come in and they'll be so convinced that they and that they deserve to tell like a bunch of stupid shit. But the say you say, hey, wait a minute, you're wrong and also stupid. Then they're like, how dare us? How dare you bully me? How dare? It's just like you are so not a victim. It is incredible.
I think they're...
You
Well,
are actively the asshole.
enough.
It's actually unimaginable.
I went ahead and reported you for, first of all, thou shalt not suffer a sorceress to live. That's a hate threat. That's a death threat. Bye-bye.
Hell yeah.
No more. I got no patience for you. You can spout by verse all day long. I can show you exactly where it is. I have lived it. Not only have I lived it, but I have sat with pastors and priests and scholars and rabbis and talked about this. You want to know something really fun? If you can still hear me because I blocked you, go and look up the Kabbalah and tell me what God's chosen people are doing.
Oh yeah.
Time to go. It's time for you to go.
Yeah, no. So they can mauled by themselves. With these kinds of people. The only problem is when you give them all the receipts, they get really mad, they cry, they stamp their feet, and they do anything to sign wrong, and they know that they don't have even half a foot.
Dude, Sarah's going off right now, hardcore, and like we're just getting robot parts.
Sarah, we can't hear you. Sarah.
I might have a.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, Sarah's frozen.
Yeah.
So anyway, more about moon magic here for a minute.
Moon magic. Let's get back on track, guys.
The biggest thing that we can take away from this is there's two things. I want you to really think about it. Between how we're using the Bible, the imagery in the Bible, and also how the Jewish people use the moon as like their calendar for like all of their big stuff, and God says to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You then take the more spiritual, so like, bye, Sarah, we're probably all gonna go here in a second. When you look at a lot of what was practiced here, it was brought over from Europe, a lot of it was influenced already by Christianity, but a lot of it was still the old stuff. So yeah, we still do a lot of what we do. Like Easter is brought up, the first full moon, first new moon, first full moon.
First full moon after the first.
Okay, that was like the second time. The second time that my internet decided to just kind of eat its own booty, but oops. Oh, we got Jasper back though. Sorry guys, I don't know why my internet sometimes just cannot like handle.
It's an attack of the enemy. We need to pray and cast out the demons from your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Can the demons access my Wi-Fi?
Can the demons connect to my Wi-Fi?
Do they know?
Goddamn. Anyway,
But
yeah, I don't know how robot I was, but all I was saying was that like these goddamn people.
Jasper,
They cry foul whenever they get told wrong. Like, you can spit all these verses and we'll tell you exactly why you're wrong, and they'll be like, how dare you harass me and oppress my family and send me in exile. And it's like, oh my god.
you guys are coming with me. I'm getting something to drink.
They prayed my internet out. No shit.
Pretty great.
So, the moon. There's also Sophia is a goddess, and she's the goddess of wisdom, so she's good for moon magic too.
Ooh, Lena, tell them what you know about Sophia and Asherah.
What? Oh, so Asherah is the like pertaining to the moon, or just in general? But she's the wife of God, right? Like that's what we all believe her to be. So with moon magic specifically, since what Hannah was saying, she rules over like the moon, she rules over wisdom. It's a good time to like do divination with her. I also like, I don't know, I'm personally, I use a lot of music in my magic and like movement, because like my personal practice is focused a lot around like body healing. So I use a lot of like music and movement. So if it like the weather's nice, I'll like go outside and I'll look at the moon. And for me, like, that's like where I can like literally see my goddess is like seeing her through the moon. So I'll go and like dance with her for a little while. There's also something fun that she rules over. Fun fact, Asherah rules over a special herb, you know? Yeah, a special herb. So you can make moon water and then put that in a piece to consume special herb and do that as like a spell with Asherah and like invoking like the power of the moon. Sarah's like, I'm getting ideas here.
Well,
Oh yeah, I heard about that because I remember there was like some fuss.
Left over in the spell.
What?
Could you use the water left over in the thing to do spell work? Because I know that water is like heinous and terrible, but surely it's good for
No, that would be good for probably something like trying to send, like some sort of like return to sender, or like, because that's
Put it in
nasty ass
compost.
water. But it has your energy in it, and it has, you know, if you're using that particular substance to relate to Asherah, right, then it has her energy in there as well.
I would also
I wouldn't put it in like a good spell because it smells bad, it looks bad.
This will kill you. Go
You could also-
away.
You could also do color magic with your water for those particular things. If you put a little bit of food dye.
Oh.
There you
I
go.
would-
That's fine.
Hey, for those of you who do not or cannot have the wacky tobacco, if you make some mugwort is another thing that you can use for Sophia as an alternative. Some people do smoke it. I don't know if it's safe to do that, to be honest, but making like
I
mugwort
wouldn't.
tea,
It is.
not pregnant, don't do that. But like just in general, mugwort tea is a good like alternative to still kind of be in a zen like state.
Or you could burn just a little bit of it like you would any other
Yeah.
kind of herb, like
They make
rosemary or something.
Noodles, yeah.
Mhm.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? I would fight evangelicals on my live.
I
Yeah.
would do that for $0, and I would.
Yeah,
I would
Sarah
do
does that
just
for
on
sport.
principle.
Like, that's Sarah's entertainment. Like,
I would do that for like a kind word, like.
do you even need the kind word, though? Like,
No. I would just do it.
Yeah. As the resident, like, almost herbalist, please only use the mugwort sparingly. We know
Yeah.
what it does between that and the pennyroyal tea. Please, please, please be careful. We're not saying it doesn't work. We're not saying it isn't going, but we are saying you can poison yourself and really hurt yourself if you just decide you're going to throw a whole bunch of shit into a pot and boil it. Please seek a professional, seek a licensed professional. And yes, you can go and get certified with homeopathic, naturopathic, and herbalism right now. I mean, you can basically do a lot of the stuff online. You can go through it, or you can go to somewhere local. But please go to somebody who knows what they're talking about, and they're not peddling MLMs. They're not doing any of that. Be gentle with these herbs, because while we can do magic with them, they can still hurt you. It's like you can take Tylenol, but if you take 50 fucking Tylenol, it's gonna hurt you. Stop. Just fucking chill.
Yeah, yep. No, mugwort essential oil specifically is obviously already super concentrated, but that is a neurotoxin as an essential oil. So, like, if you...
I have never seen mugwort essential oil. People actually get that?
I have.
I don't
ask me how.
Who?
All I can
what
say
brand?
is, like,
Oh, no, I made it myself.
Super, super harsh.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Not that I wanted it, I just wanted to
Go to Mimi's
know.
house and be like, hey... Yeah, no, but so that...
Don't
that's
touch anything in this cabinet. Just don't touch anything here.
All plants can turn on you if you don't know what you're doing with them.
That's the same reason why I have hyacinth in my house. I have dried hyacinth in my house. I have hyssop in my yard.
I almost saved the herb. Like, some freaking nightshade got into my herb patch, and I was like, this looks oddly like a pepper with little blackberries. So I was like, should I save those little blackberries for something? I was like, no. I ain't gonna do anything with them. But, oopsie.
Sorry. I went full
They
prairie dog for a minute.
Because I was like, the little flower looks just like a pepper plant on the nightshade. So I was like, oh shit, what are you doing here?
Oh man.
I only know what a hyacinth is because of Animal Crossing.
Yeah. I am, like,
Gonna be honest.
elderberry can kill you. You have to boil that shit out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't...
Same thing like homeopathics. There's, like, homeopathics that are made out of, like, toxic herbs, like belladonna. But in, like, homeopathic form, it's safe. But if you were... Do not touch belladonna. No.
What you're doing.
Also, plenty of accessible nightshades that you can use in your practice, like potatoes.
Like
or eggplant, or
I'll
tomatoes, or tobacco.
I'll try to be back in a minute. The baby's crying. Hang on.
Okay. But, yeah, no, so the nightshade family includes a lot of different things. Some of them will kill you, like belladonna. Other things you eat regularly every day is just part of a staple diet. So every plant does different things. This is why, as witches, it's cool to know about magic, but you should know a little something about, like, herbs and biochemistry, because the things that kill you are just certain chemicals that happen to connect with you in very fun and creative ways.
I love that people are freaking out about potatoes now. I love potato magic. You can do, like, Sarah is our resident witch here, and she has lots of potato-related recipes to bring you comfort and joy. I like to weirdly use them for baneful magic because they grow underground, so just that, like, underworld energy. But also, if you don't cook or season a potato, they're very bland. So if you want someone to live a boring, bland, tasteless existence, you put them in a potato.
Oh, that's sad.
My biggest flex was getting King Belial to hang out by drawing his sigil on a potato. That was fucking fun. Because, like, I don't know, all these old school, like, grimoires are like, you have to carve their sigils into metal, and I'm just like, fuck that. He is an earth-based demon. He's potato. Done.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
But, for me, like, potatoes are, like, good for healing because they're a very just stunky, like, nourishing little food. So, when I eat them, I'm just like, comfort, healing, good. That's and if you think about it, bland stuff in that way, like, if you have stomach problems, they say eat bland food. So that blandness can go either way. The duality of all things exists.
I mean, also, you could use, like, not for nothing, you could probably use potatoes for, like, inner child healing in magic, too, because, like, French fries...
Versatility.
Mashed potatoes. What kid does not eat mashed potatoes? Like, even my pickiest child eats mashed potatoes. So
I wish I could do, like, a whole workshop on, like I just want to, like, go to all the fast food chains and be like, so, like, how do we make a Whopper magic? And just go through it, because you could absolutely do, like, kitchen magic on the go. All these TikToks in my car, like, we're gonna make this magic.
That'd be hilarious. New series for Kitchen Witch, Sarah.
God, kitchen witch. What the hell am I doing at Arby's? Like,
How did I end up here?
oh
Oh
God,
my god.
oh Jesus Christ, starting at Wendy's. I'm like inspecting the ranch packet. Like, hold on a
Yo,
minute.
Wendy's is not it. But here's the thing. I've always been a McDonald's girly. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always like really, really loved McDonald's. And then I got pregnant with my second baby, Scott, and all of a sudden I start madly craving Wendy's French fries. I never have eaten Wendy's in my entire life, but like specifically Wendy's French fries. The only conclusion I could come to is my husband at the time, he really liked Wendy's. So like what if that was like his energy coming out through the baby? Either way, it was really nasty just wanting to eat freaking Wendy's French fries for 9 months. I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm gonna say something controversial. Out of all the fast food places, Wendy's has the best chicken nugs.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
wrong. You're
No.
wrong.
What?
You're
No. I
wrong.
literally stop. Core memory. I remember like my dad. Okay. I'm convinced it's where you went first as a child because when I went to Wendy's, I was like, yeah, this is tight. And my dad took me to McDonald's for the first time, and I ate the nuggies, and I was like, these nuggies. I was 4, and I was like, these nuggies are not giving. These nuggies are bland. They have a weird texture. What the fuck? So I was like, no, Wendy's nuggies
No.
forever.
No. I love McDonald's nuggies. Listen.
Can't do it.
When you a girly who is a picky eater, sometimes that little like squish that the McDonald's nuggies have to them
Here's the
is
thing.
just a little. But then I also love how bland they are because then you go and you get. Wait a minute, look at this. Listen.
Oh, where we going? Where we
I
going?
literally keep a stash of McDonald's sauces in my home. Okay? Because McDonald's nuggies are made by the sauces. So you keep your McDonald's sauces in your house, and then you go get nuggies, and then you douse them in sauce. And that's how it works. But the best one's the spicy buffalo. Okay. I've tried buffalo
Okay,
sauce
fair.
from other chains. It's not as good. It's disgusting. It's disgusting from other chains. McDonald's, delicious. Their honey mustard. I hate honey mustard. It's disgusting. But this, listen, McDonald's nuggies, the sauces, it's an experience.
Here's
End
the
of
question.
story.
Here's my question though, because like I love their crispy chicken sandwich. So why
Yeah.
does the chicken on the sandwich not taste anything like the nugs? I
Because
don't
it's
understand
different chicken.
the animal.
It's different chicken. The nugget
Different
chicken.
breading
Listen, the
too.
nugget chicken is questionable at best. It's questionable
Get
at
rid of
best.
which killer
You're
ribbon.
signing up for that. You know. The chicken
No,
on
I
the
don't
sandwich
like.
is okay. It's okay.
All right. This is absolutely
Listen.
inspiring me to do some bullshit for my next Kitchen Witch series. But someone asked any updates on the book. Yes, updates are that. I am steadily. This book is such a way. It's kind of similar to the course I just launched. If you guys want like 10 weeks of basically like almost a college course on Christian witchcraft, that's in my bio. Go have fun. But the book is kind of similar in that I front load so much of the dense stuff, like the biblical stuff and all that, that like by the time we get to the witchcraft, it's just like, all right, now we can just talk about chill things and easy things. So I'm tunneling. I think I have like 19 straight pages of just like single spaced of me just going off on the Bible verses alone. Never mind like all the other stuff I gotta talk about. So we're getting there,
But
and it's going. We're Mimi, you got any updates on the book? The Christian Witchcraft book?
yeah,
I am on Patreon, Deedle, if you want to check that out. Yes, I think
We
all
all
of
are
us
on
except
Patreon.
Mimi do Patreon. So if you want to check out any of
Don't
our
convince me to
Patreons.
do one more thing, although I probably will. No, what I'm working on right now is as I'm working through the Casting Lots book, I'll be doing like Christian divination there, and I'm also putting in some of the more well-known psalms that we could use, that I know of to use, because that is enough. I am trying to talk.
He just doesn't want you to talk tonight, baby.
Well, you know what? He is. Dad's closed the door on him because Bosco kept getting down there, and Dad's trying to raid. Here, go eat supper. Go eat.
Is there an easy way to explain that Christ and witchcraft do in fact mix? Yes, the fact that Christ himself was actually like the most hardcore magician. I have learned much more about how to actually apply magic through the Bible than any of these modern witchcraft books. Mostly because Jesus sits there like the spokesperson for Nike. He's like, just do it, just believe,
Just do
like
it. Just believe. That's so
literally, because
funny.
like all of these like Wicca books, they have these long rhyming like
keeps knocking
goofy
over
looking
my
spells,
tripod.
and I'm like,
Stop.
I'm like, all the rhyming goofy spells, I can't handle this. So whenever I open a witchcraft book and it gives me a spell for whatever, and it's just like page long goofy ass incantation, I'm just like, I can't do
No.
that without just crawling under this table and feeling dumb. I don't know
Yeah.
how people do those. I'm sorry. But Jesus is like, just believe it.
That was
just
literally the
believe that it
Bible
works.
verse of the day on the app today. Was like the whole if you have faith as small as a mustard seed that you can move a mountain and maybe it'll even go into the ocean. Like
So that's where I stopped doing like a lot of the spoke. I just do the spoken stuff to focus on what I'm trying to do. Otherwise, I literally will just smack my pot and be like, work, and then there you go. That's magic.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yep.
So a lot of what I do is I actually just write it out like a journal entry, because
You could do stuff like
so
that
a lot
too.
of stuff I can't do out loud. Like I have to keep it in my head, and it's like you have to speak it out loud to make it work. Let me just tell
No.
you what, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
If you are in the broom closet, if you are not in a safe area like fucking Tennessee right now, if you are not or even Texas, if you are, a mom who's got 8 million kids, you're doing magic and stuff like that around them, but there's parts of your stuff you don't want them to know because not everything is for children's ears, then absolutely write it down.
Mm-hmm.
I have
No,
a special colored pen that I use. I have a purple pen that I use when I'm writing my spells.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's cute. I put
Yeah.
everything personally. I make
was
all
just
my
a
like
baby.
spell pages on my phone, and I just keep it all there, and I write it on my phone. I figure, it's written there, written and it shall be done, like kind of thing. It's done. That's like that's that. I
Millennial
don't
Taurus,
feel the need to do anymore.
Gen Z Taurus.
Yeah, no. See, I think this is where like the Sagittarius chaos comes in because none of my spells are ever the same. I'll make the same meal, but it'll never be the exact same measurement of spices. It'll never be the exact same spell. I'm just like bibbity boppity fucking paprika. I don't. So like it just kind of happens that way, and it'll be different every time.
I have, like, I think a pretty decent memory. Like, Penny is constantly amazed at the things that I can just remember. So I just remember the correspondences to everything. So if I'm like, a baneful spell, I know what I need for that. Love magic, I know what I need for that. Money, I know what I need for that. So I do write things down because I want to have something pretty to, like, pass on to my family one day. But 90% of the time when I do spell work, it's just like, I know what I need, and I throw it together. Not everyone's gonna be like that, but
No. I think I work like that where I like write a lot of the time I'll write it down retroactively and like mostly for the purposes of like sharing and saving them. And also because like every once in a while I do want to repeat specific spells, but like it's very rare. I usually kind of just I don't know, I'm a chaos witch. I like to wing it each time.
Yeah.
Oh, also I use wax melts. I buy my wax melts from people. I love Meadowhawk Arcana, and she does wax melts with like crystals. Sometimes they have runes in them and stuff like that, and they're made specifically for a specific function for spell work. If you can't have candles, so hell yeah, yeah.
We could put her in out too. Yeah.
Sarah, I think Bippity Paprika needs to be your next merch.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Okay. I didn't, oh shit, I didn't say anything yet, but on Instagram at least, I figured out how to make line art of myself on Illustrator, which means I can be the most capital menace, and I already have a few designs out. Like, remember, I made a post about baneful magic in kitchen witchery, and I said make magic, not felonies, and so that's definitely going on a bunch of shit. Make magic, it's going on a notebook, so if you gotta, like, journal it out and remind yourself not to commit felonies, there's that one.
That's hysterical.
But Bibbidi Bobbidi Paprika is definitely going on like some fucking ass witch.
We'll be working on merch design, so we will figure that.
Yes, merch.
And I have a Teespring account now, so mine's coming.
I'll send you guys designs in the group chat. We're all just... and Mimi are writing book. I have like 3/4 of an outline done, and that's gonna get changed like 900 times. So expect from me in like 2026
And
We'll
Lena's
work it
got a
out. It'll
Discord.
be good.
And
I have a
Lena's in it.
Discord
Yeah,
group.
with a lot of cool people on it.
Also, somebody was asking. Lena is from New York State, and I am from the South, but I live currently in Wisconsin.
I'm in.
I lived a lot of time in Georgia and Kentucky equally through my childhood. So, what? Do you hear him saying "Mama" over in the corner? Mama, dude.
He wants attention.
He does.
Gotta give him attention. But anywho, was all that aside, all of the fun stuff, yeah, I mean, Christianity and witchcraft, they go together just, again, as I was saying earlier, no religion operates without magic. They might not call it magic, but it's magic, like,
Why
straight up.
not?
So, I mean, when you think about it, right, again, like, the Urim and Thummim were commanded by God, and it's literally, the frickin' priest would roll around with a pocket full of 2 stones. One stone said yes, the other stone said no, and they believed God. Should we tax these groups more? No, right? So, like, literally, that's a form of divination, because God was the king of Israel. He was the king. They didn't have a king until, like, I believe David or so.
We need it. No, it was Saul.
No.
We need a king.
It was Saul.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
Saul.
and God was like, am I not good enough? God is always just like, you... all the stories in the Bible are God being like, you ungrateful assholes. Like 99% of the time.
I'm in central Wisconsin, by the way.
I feel, yeah. There's so many, I was telling them this in the group chat this morning, there's so many different aspects to God. I feel like when he's in his, like, peaceful state, and there are many facets to God, you can't pin him down to one thing. But in his, like, peaceful state, he's like the stoner dad that listens to AC/DC while he works in his garage, like, making birdhouses. That's just the UPG vibe that I have. And then it turns out in the Quran and in the infancy gospel of Thomas, they talk about Jesus as a child making birds out of clay and they come to life. So now my UPG is that God is making birdhouses for Jesus.
That's so cute.
But I love how you get that energy from him, because for me, I get like a completely different. He's very strict with me, but not like in the like you like holds me to like stern rules. Just very like no bullshit, no nonsense. But I feel like I have enough deities that bullshit and nonsense with me that I don't need God to do that. I think it would just be too. I need somebody to balance all that out.
He's still pretty no bullshit.
Drill sergeant.
Yeah.
If someone fucks with you the wrong way, he will go from building his burn houses to be like, all right, let's go.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely shotgun dad. But
Yeah.
But also, what else was I thinking about? Oh shit, I had a thought and I lost it. Oh, that's right. So someone was asking about angels and archangels. The way I see it, each archangel's name is another aspect of God, right? Like, that's kind of the point. Like, angels are these autonomous beings, but they wear masks that are aspects of God. Like, if you think about, like, Michael means he who is like God. Samael means venom of God. You have all these something of God, or God is my light, or God is my wisdom, God is my healing. That's what all these angel names are. So each one to me represents like another facet of God, and there are so many. They can like there's God is love, there's God is absolute thunder and destruction. It all depends on the day.
God is an old lady sitting in her cabin in the mountains playing with her quilting rack to me, who's got all kinds of wisdom if we just ask right. But if we don't ask right and we don't use our manners, they're just going to sit there and stare at you over the bridge of their glasses.
Okay, can we talk about God's like million mile stare? Because he does have the million mile stare.
I think I love that though, because when you say or do something stupid, there isn't like a lecture or there's the nine
there's
things.
silence. There's just...
It's literally just hang on.
It's the meme of Mike Wazowski with 2 eyes. That's God all the time. Is that fucking me?
Just
oh fuck.
and the blink, like the slow blink, just.
Yeah, you know, he can get me to talk myself into the solution all the time. Like, I'll just be like, why is this way? And he'll just stare at me with that stare, and then I'll be like, alright, fair, I guess it's this. Like, I just shame myself into the answer. He doesn't even have to speak, and I'm just like, alright.
Oh my word. Well,
No, 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 no.
we've been here for an hour and a half again.
Guys, we're just gonna have to go ahead and be like, yeah, our lives are an hour and a half because they just
Yeah,
always
I mean,
are.
I love that.
They
I have no
always are.
problem. I feel like if someone's not the timekeeper, we'll be.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
be
we
here
could
all
be
night,
here for a
actually.
while.
And, oh boy, I do have to talk to Lucifer. I told him, I kept saying, in April, buddy, in April, I'll be back at it. It is now April. And he's like,
Hello.
remember that shit you're supposed to do? And I was like, I set up the demon altar, at least. That's set up. He
Yeah.
gets a nice Cuban cigar. So,
Hey.
but like, he likes the Marigold Tarot. Lucifer loves the Marigold Tarot. He likes to use this one a lot. I'm like, do I get him his own deck? But he really just likes to borrow this one all the time. So, I don't know.
Jasper
If you
is
don't
the
need to
I
get a
want my
new
mom's
one, then just
attention
don't get a
keeper.
new one.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just like, I can't have decks for specific. I already have one for the Slavic gods, and it only gets used like
Eat paper.
very rarely. So, but this dog
Well,
is in chaos or something.
We're all having just times, so let's do our last go round.
This is the face he's giving me. Hang on
I
a
need
second.
to see if my cat's like in
Jasper.
labor. I don't know.
No,
You're-
it's just like no.
I didn't do it, Mom. You didn't see me do it. I didn't do it.
Sarah, you just released a class. Tell us about it.
Oh god, yeah. So basically, the entire month of March has been painful because I have released a course. It is on my web. If you literally just go to the link in my bio, it's the first thing there. But I released a 10-week introduction to Christian witchcraft course. So it's like 10 about hour-long video lectures with slideshows, with quizzes, with like an exercise and a journal to do to kind of do like a self-study through it. And you can either get the whole class up front, or you can go get the smaller package modules. Like I have 4 classes at a time, and so you can pick a topic like magic and the how and why, or like divination or something like that. Or you can just message me directly, and I will just send you a link so you can just start one at a time for like 25 a pop, nice and manageable at your own pace, nothing crazy. But all that's there so that you can have like actual tools and resources and actual Bible verses and other things to look at to guide you on your way, so that when you have questions like how can you do X, Y, and Z, it's all right there. And it's kind of a little bit what the book that Mimi and I are writing is going to be about. But the book's going to have more because Mimi's got a lot more to talk about. I've got a lot more to talk about. This is just the bare bones intro, nice and easy course. So all that's in the link in my bio. Just go look at that link and you have a field day because there's a million things in that link tree. But yeah.
I have also. If you click the link in my bio and go to my YouTube, I just like a week ago uploaded like a 20-minute long video like, can you really be a Christian witch? Here's how, here's why, very condensed. Not nearly covering all of it. It's more so just like, hey, here's the Bible verses to point out when people give you shit kind of thing. But I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, Patreon. I have a Discord server for the patrons. My life is a mess right now, so that's why I'm like, I will probably do a restock Friday or Saturday, and I will keep everyone posted with cat and kitten updates as they come. Miss Lena, just
Hello. So for me, I have a podcast. It's called the Jesus Witch Podcast. I also have like a Discord community that's totally free. You can find everything for me in my bio. I just started a YouTube channel that I'm gonna like be fully like launching next week. Or actually, I think the first video comes up on Friday, technically. So yeah, that'll be like fully launched on Friday. And then I have like Instagram and all that stuff. But again, everything for me will be in my bio. But yeah, come join our Discord group. That place is fun. Oh, and I also have a Patreon and an Etsy shop. I should have mentioned those two things too.
I also have a Patreon in the shop. So again, Linktree, links, bio.
Yeah,
Everyone
links
has a
in
link
bios.
with a million links in it, and just to have a field day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the only one who's like really slow on the take up because I homeschool I've got 4 children, 2 dogs. I homeschool full time, and it's exhausting.
Yep.
But most of what I've been writing, and the blog is active now, but I don't have anything posted yet because I'm curating the post, and I should probably do it as I go. But brain. And I do have a YouTube channel where I have been taking some of the TikToks that everybody knows and sees, and I've been putting them over there on YouTube for shorts, and I'll be getting that going here as well. And it's basically like, it's more like the folky magic, the granny magic stuff that you see from Appalachia, because so many of our grannies have like already died and they took what they knew with them, so we're just trying to keep it alive. And on top of that, also like how you can take it into like homeschooling, how you can teach your little ones. It's not like you have to learn it this way like they do with a lot of like the Christian homeschooling stuff, but it's how to take that with discernment and teach your children, and how to help them practice their own discernment, how to practice their own relationship with God. So that's what's coming to my blog and my YouTube channel here soon. And the book. The book is the book is mostly like apologetics. So if you've done any kind of catechism or anything like that in your church, or if you've taken any like discipleship classes and they teach you how to defend your faith or whatever, it's the exact same thing. It's like, this is why and how, and we have done all the work for you, so you don't have to read these dusty fucking books. As well as like how the divine feminine works, and like how cultures were meshed together. It's not appropriation because everybody went off and married each other and we all learned the same thing. So it's basically how to take it and flex your discernment muscle, learn what you're doing, and going forward with it in a positive way, instead of being like, I'm gonna take this and do what I want with it because but that was a gremlin voice. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the fuck just came out of me.
No. In essence, the book that we're writing is Discovering Christian Witchcraft, and it's literally just like an academic look, because a lot of books on Christian witchcraft seem to me like they're just based in personal experience and memoir, which is fine, but I really want like the academic, like structural biblical defense, so that's what we're doing. But otherwise, I think, yeah, that's about all our projects and stuff. So thank you guys for stopping by, for us chatting about the moon and the Bible and everything else, and dunking on evangelicals again. It is our favorite sport, but
the only sport I'm good at.
Sport, Sarah.
It's my favorite sport. I'm in the ring like little monkey, but and there goes the duck. But yes, so that is all that. We do this every other week. If you guys want to pop in 2 weeks from now, Tuesday, this will also be up on my YouTube, again, if you weren't able to catch the whole thing. So, be well, enjoy, and thank you guys again for hanging out with all of us.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.